Oh, I gotta unmute my microphone. That would probably help. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Yes, we are live now. So, getting the itch to level another character, as always. Um so yeah, we're gonna do a Blood Elf Hunter again. I like Blood Elf Hunters. I want to do Beast Mastery for the spec. Um yeah. So I think we're gonna do a kind of a Dark Ranger Blood Elf Hunter. My last couple streams I've done, I haven't done any kind of commentary, and I feel like that hasn't been great in terms of just my own enjoyment, and just, yeah, really just my own enjoyment. So we'll go ahead and put commentary back on, and I'll just ramble as I level up. Opened up chat again. I feel like I may have had some people trying to chat, but the way things were set up, it wasn't available or wasn't an option. So we will go ahead and get started here. So of course we're doing a hunter. Hunters are at home in the wilderness and have a special affinity for beasts. They rely on their weaponry and their pet to deal damage. They could be a ranged or melee damage dealer. We'll be focusing on ranged. And we are going to be a blood elf. Survivors of a brutal war, the blood elves drew strength from the magical Sunwell to rebuild their kingdom. They get a skill increase to enchanting. With Arcane Torrent, they can restore resources like mana or energy. Arcane Torrent also dispels nearby enemies. And blood elves are resistant to arcane damage. Do, 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 do. Gonna let that animation play one more time just for poops and giggles. Good stuff. All right. So we are remaking my character Rufus. Rufus, fun fact, was the name of the very first hunter I made in World of Warcraft. We're going to go with the Dark Ranger skin tone, face 1. Hairstyle Prince. Hair color 5. We're going to do a full beard, medium ears. We're stuck with red eyes, which is fine by me. And both eyesight. We're going to start on Sunstrider Isle. Before we begin, I am going to log into one of my warlocks, one of my tailors, and make some Dragonflight bags for this hunter. They're a little cheaper than the current bags, and who knows if this character will last very long or not. So I think I need... Okay, I need to change some stuff here. This spec is just a random spec, but I do want to have Burning Rush. And in addition to Burning Rush, man, my talent trees are messed up. All right, we're going to do that, and that. We're going to take... we'll take that. I need to take one of the... I think I need to take this one. Yeah. Take that. Take that. Reduce the cooldown, because why not? Haste will take... Nope. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any. Yep, that's the one. All right, and then we're going to take that one, that. We'll take that one, that. Sure, we'll take that one. This one, I'm going to just do any old build. Not too concerned about this. Yeah. Really don't want to take that, but I guess I kind of have to. There we go. That's fine. Just wanted to grab enough so that I could have Burning Rush. Okay. Really quick, I need to buy the materials I need for my bags. We need 12 of those and 6 of those. Cool. Okay. Take that, take that. Unraveling. Let's unravel some more stuff here. I need 26, I believe, to make all the bags. Oh, my game audio seems like it's still pretty loud. We'll turn that down a little bit. No? I don't know. I don't really know. I'm no expert when it comes to reading the audio capture thingy in OBS. The little bars at the very bottom are flashing yellow, but it doesn't seem like the bar that goes up and down as you talk or as the audio happens is getting up to yellow. So I don't know if that's just a misrepresentation or what the deal is with that. All right, let's drop this stuff off in the bank.
Looking for wares?
Nope. All right.
A fair exchange.
And we'll log out. Bear with me for just a moment as I take care of something really quick here. Bear with me. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. I just need to do that. And then this. All right. Cool. Fire the game back up. Takes a second for OBS to refine the game. But it should be back up momentarily. There it is. All right. I'm going to mute myself and we'll play through the cinematic, and I will be back shortly.
The past few years have seen unprecedented changes within the eternal land of Quel'Thalas. The Blood Elves, following the will of their crazed leader Kael'thas Sunstrider, channeled dangerous, chaotic magics to transform their sacred Sunwell into a gateway of unspeakable evil. While Kael'thas and his demonic masters were eventually defeated, a different kind of transformation occurred within the Sunwell itself, as a dying Naru sacrificed its life essence to reignite the Sunwell into a fount of holy energy. Now, the Blood Elf Regent Lorthamar Theron sees a new hope on the horizon for his people. Over time, the Sunwell's light could cure the Blood Elves of their cursed state, but many still cling to the arcane powers they've procured and are hesitant to relinquish them. As one of the remaining Blood Elves, you must fight to protect Quel'Thalas and help redeem the soul of your ancient people.
Hooray. Okay. Grab that quest. All right. I need to, there's a few things I need to do to get things set up. Block guild invites, class colors. I have been using the personal resource bar lately. So really quick, I'm going to do the Warband Bank Distance Inhibitor. We're going to grab 25 Goblin Gliders. And then we're going to grab these bags. That's only 3, isn't it? What happened to the 4th one? Did the 4th one not make it? There it is. Okay. And then we'll withdraw 25K. Cool beans. Okay. So let's go ahead and equip these new bags. All right. Macros. Clear my bars. Edit mode. We're going with my modern. And then just because I'm anal about it, I reset the chat positions and reset chat defaults, set experience, and then reset the combat log defaults with, oops, there we go. Macros, bam, steady shot, arcane torrent, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to do the chauffeured mechano hog. Bam. Okay. So I think we are in good shape to get started. Yeah, just kind of had an itch lately to get back into Hunter. So I've leveled since the last time I feel like I did a stream where I actually spoke. I leveled Death Knight, which I think is on the channel, and I leveled a Shaman. The Shaman I did off stream, and I only got her to like 80. I haven't started Midnight with her yet. There's a really weird bug that's kind of triggering my, I don't know, OCD or obsessive nature, where the abandoned quest counter is going up, despite having not abandoned any quests, which is frustrating, but not new. So yeah, that's been kind of a pain in the butt lately because for whatever reason in my head, like, and I feel like it stems from, I don't know, reading about the Iron Man challenge in WoW. Um, but like I have it in my head that I can't die, I can't kill critters, I can't have any abandoned quests, all this stuff. When in actuality, I just need to relax and let it go. And that was in part, like a month or so ago, why I started streaming. I wanted to have an aspect of playing this game. Oh my god, my game volume is so loud. Let me change some stuff here. Okay. We'll see how that goes. Sorry if the game volume was just crazy loud. It didn't seem like it on my end, but it was. And my wearing headphones, it was very loud as well. Yeah, this seems a little bit better. Still maybe not perfect, whereas the character voices are still coming through pretty loud. So I might need to, I wonder if that's something I could just dialogue. Let's try 50% dialogue. See if that makes a difference. Yeah, that makes a huge difference. All right, I need to fix that key binding that I undid. Key bindings. Let's just do these ones. All right, strafe. Oh yeah, it's default now. I forgot about that. All right, action bar, Q, E, F, G, bam. And then that one becomes R, extra. All right, and then action bar 2. I actually need to go back to action bar, next action bar, previous action bar. Yep, cool. And then action bar 3. All right. Let's see, miscellaneous. I switch that to that. Interact. Middle, and then pet attack. I set to that. Okay. Now we should be good. I was experimenting with the ping button, which is by default the G button, which I usually use for like my slows or roots or stuff like that. Anyway, as I was saying, I was, that bug was kind of bugging me and getting me obsessive, and so I've been trying to like play, and I just don't, I can't play, right? Like whenever I'm doing this, it always feels like I'm doing like a job or something. Like everything has to be perfect, and it's my own mental state, right? Like it's my own fault. I am not blaming anyone. So I'm trying to get over that. Part of me thinks that if I stream and play WoW as a means or like as a reason to stream, right, that I'll stop obsessing over the little things about my character, like deaths or quest abandons or critter kills, and I can just play the game. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully the game volume is at a better spot. I still feel like it's very loud. Let's see. Options, audio. See, I feel like if my freaking... All right, let's just try that. Let's just try lowering everything. Like, I feel like if I turn down the master, that should be good enough. But apparently, if I just turn down the master, it doesn't make that big a difference. Unless I lower the master down significantly more. So if I were to bring that down to like 25, and then I can put my effects back at 90 and my dialogue back at 90. We'll see if that makes a difference. And it still seems kind of loud. We'll really find out once we start talking to other characters. There we go. There's all the arcane slivers I need. So we will go grab the journal that this guy needs and then go turn in the quests. I'm totally rethinking my whole volume setup. So, long time ago, I read an article or watched a video about how to make playing Skyrim feel more immersive. All right, that's not too bad, volume-wise. His voice isn't too loud. Playing Skyrim and feeling more immersed in it. And the one thing that they suggested was to adjust your volume so that music was off and your ambient sound or ambiance or whatever was like all the way up, because maybe it was a Bellular video. The idea being, if you were in the world of Skyrim, you wouldn't hear music playing. You wouldn't, have a soundtrack going. You would just experience the ambient sounds of Skyrim. And so lately, when I really want to feel immersed in a game, whenever I play, I turn up the ambient sounds all the way, and I turn down sound effects and things like that. This is still really loud. So I think what I'm going to do, let's just set everything to 50. We'll leave ambience, whatever, at that. Now it's super quiet in my ears. So hopefully it's quieter for the stream. Sorry, obsessing over sound. I just don't want to have to fight to be heard, So anyway, that's how I play WoW lately when I want to feel immersed, is I have the ambience turned up all the way, and sound effects are the next highest, with dialogue being the next highest. The The idea being I still want to be able to hear the sound effects and everything like that, but I also want that extra ambience. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Kill that our tainted wraith. Kill that wraith. Get the tainted arcane sliver. All right, I need one more tainted arcane wraith. And we'll grind out level 6. Da-ding. All right, that goes there. Boom, boom, boom. Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. Ba-da-da-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-da-da-dum. So now I wonder if I can up the game audio capture in OBS. It seems like the game audio is now a little louder.
We will persevere.
Which is I like. So ideally, what I would like for the game audio to be audible in the VOD, because I like hearing the WoW stuff. I like all that.
Yes. Time is of the essence.
But I understand that if I'm talking and I have to talk over these these NPCs, it gets difficult and not fun. So let me. I just want to try something again. Oops. Crank that back up. All right. So we'll see what happens when I go talk to this elf.
What business have you? Victory lies ahead.
Okay, so at this level the game audio is still pretty loud. So what if we bring it down a little bit more? All right, so now the game capture audio is at 19.1 decibels. Oh, I wonder if I can just do... Yeah, cool. Well, that answers that question.
State your business. Our enemies will fall. Shorel Oran.
Okay. So I just set the game capture audio in OBS to 20 decibels. Audio settings for the game, 25% master volume, 10% music, effects at 90, ambience at 100, and dialogue at 90. So we'll play with this for a little bit. Hopefully it's not too annoying. I hate This is one thing I don't like about streaming. I feel like I'm not giving the character enough attention in game. And so it feels like I need to start over. I'm getting that itch that's like, nope, you messed up. You got to start over. You got to start over. But we're not going to. We're not going to start over because that's a silly thought.
What do
We're
you
going to
see?
ignore that thought. All right.
Do not loiter. Hold your head high. Salama Ashalanore.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Let's go grab these quests.
What business have you?
Anaria Shola.
Okay. Let's go kill some patrollers and gather the unstable mana crystals. Cool, cool. So here's the thing about Hunter. I never know. Like, I feel like this is the play. Yeah, this makes sense. So usually when I'm playing a class that has stealth or prowl or camouflage, so Hunter, Druid, Rogue, I usually will put the stealth toggle on the key next to the number 1, to the left of it. Tilde or whatever. But I also will put, like, I feel like Hunter's Mark is a good one to put on that key. Either because that's what I used to do when I used to play a Hunter in original vanilla, like the 2005, 2004-ish time. I actually don't know what button. I don't think when I started I was using the key binding setup that I have currently. All right. We will aspect of the pact. Dang. All right, Huntress of the Sun, good stuff. Mount up, and we're on our way back to Falconwing Square.
Anaria Shola. Glory to the Sindor.
Grab that.
Our enemies will fall. The reckoning is at
Grab that.
The dark times will pass. We will have justice.
Sure will. All right, I need to sell my junk. Cool. Sell that and sell that. We're going to sell the staff. All right, cool.
Keep your wits about you.
eternal sun guides us. The reckoning is at hand.
What's on your mind?
Trying to think. I know what pet I'm going to go with for leveling, because I think I know the best pet for leveling.
We'll persevere.
But I'm just trying to think, what level is that pet at the lowest? I feel like in Chromie time, it's like 15 or maybe 35 or something. I got to double check. Wow, Petopia. Wow, Petopia. We're going to go with that one. And I'm pretty sure it is that one. And okay, so 15 to 30. Okay.
The dark times will
Okay.
pass.
Grab that. Close. Did the stream break? No. Okay. Just like sitting here watching it and it's like not moving. Okay. Got to be careful in this subzone. In case you're not aware, the mana wraiths, the big blueberries, they will, upon death, occasionally shower the area in arcane residue, and you will get a debuff. I think it's just called arcane residue, and it will increase your magic damage done as well as magic damage taken. The mana stalkers in this area will use Moonfire. Now, this isn't an issue except when it is. So the arcane residue that you get is only supposed to increase your magic damage taken by a tiny amount, like barely anything. That's not always the case. Very, very frequently, like every time, the debuff will bug out and it will actually increase the damage done to you by a lot. And it actually also increases your damage done by a lot. So you can go through and one-shot these mobs pretty easily. Oh, look at that. Someone died right there. So yeah, if you are a spellcaster in this subzone, you can get through a lot of stuff very quickly. If you are a melee user, because the debuff only appears if you are near the mana wraith when they die. Be careful when, like, so what I typically will do is I will try and kill all of the mana stalkers first, so that I can avoid getting hit by a bunch of buffed up moonfires, and then I will go and kill all the wraiths, because the wraiths, their whole like gimmick is that they are strong. They try and lower your armor. Like they are bruisers rather than casters. The stalkers are the casters. So if you take the fight one group at a time and do 5 of the mana wraiths and then 5 mana stalkers, you're not going to run into the issue that you can get killed by these mobs pretty easily. Alternatively, what you can do is you can do the wraiths first and just take the debuff, because fighting these guys with the debuff isn't a big deal. They don't use any spells, except Fairy Fire, which doesn't do damage, just lowers your armor. So you're fine fighting all 5 mana race in a row and then doing all the stalkers. The only issue is you then have a 2-minute debuff that you have to wait for. You don't have to wait for. You can power through it, but I just find it better to just wait the 2 minutes. We are not getting any stalker spawns. This is not usual. There's one. The other thing to keep in mind is if you can rush down the stalkers before they cast Moonfire, you're fine. So if you're in full heirlooms or anything like that, you're probably going to be okay. Boom. Easy. Yeah, so see, if I were this mage who's in full heirlooms, I would stand next to one of the mana wraiths and get the debuff.
Farewell. Stay the course.
And then from there, I could go around and one-shot all the mobs. Any class that uses spell power, because it's I think it increases your spell damage or spell power. And so your abilities have to be considered spells. So like rogues can't benefit from it. Hunters can't benefit from it with Arcane Shot. I've tried monks with Crackling Jade Lightning. That does not work. What's another one that doesn't work? Balanced Druids work. Wrath Moonfire work. As long as Moonfire is not the Guardian or Feral version. Guardian and Feral Moonfire does not scale off of your spell damage, I think, or spell power. And so those won't work. But if you're balanced, it'll work. Shaman would work. Again, unless your enhancement, because enhancement shaman use attack power rather than spell power. Devourer, Demon Hunter, it will work for. The one nice thing about being a hunter with the Murloc zone subzone here is you can pull the ones that are really far out. Fish heads. Oh, there's a paladin over there. Always fun when you can cut off their audio cue. Oh, I wish they would fix the treasure chests in this zone. So treasure chests in Cataclysm zones, and I'm guessing not BC, but treasures in Cataclysm zones give you a good chunk of experience. It's like a quest's worth of experience. The treasure chests in TBC zones, like frickin' Eversong Woods, this hunter or this paladin quick. We need the lost rudders to drop too. It is now 5:51. My watch is yelling at me to stand up. If your watch is also yelling at you to stand up, you should stand up. Thank you for your time for this important announcement. Oh. Someone just killed the big boss daddy Murloc. If these rudders could spawn, that would be great. Well, on the plus side, I'll probably hit 9. Oh, where is this quest item? Do 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 do. Ugh. Captain Calisandra's lost rudders. You know what I could be doing though? Instead of just doing this, I should turn in this quest and go kill Big Daddy Murloc. And from that, I'll probably get the lost rudders instead of wasting time just grinding off these mobs.
Anu Belore de la Na. Baladash.
All right. Itchy head. Okay. All right, we're going to wait for him to get by these other Murlocs. And then we unleash everything. Look at the Murlocs running in fear. All right, where are those lost rudders that I want? I don't even know if they can drop from this side of the river. Yes. All right. So So we got the rudders. We're going to go turn in this and that. Sploosh. I feel like my breath bar isn't showing. That happens from time to time, I feel like, where just UI elements won't show up. Not exactly a great way to learn how to play this game if UI elements aren't going to show themselves. I could see being a new player and then like going in water and being like, oh, I don't see anything that's like telling me that I'm running out of breath. Perfect. I'm fine. And then staying underwater too long and then suddenly starting to lose a bunch of health and being like, oh God, what's happening? Oh. So I'm drinking this new energy drink. And I'm not in love with the flavor, but it has me wondering if it's designed to not be a yummy, delicious drink that is addictive and makes you want to keep drinking it, but is instead an actual like energy drink that like they want you to drink quickly-ish, right? Like rather than sipping on it and enjoying it like I would a lot of other energy drinks. I wouldn't be surprised if they would view this as more of a, not a medicine, right? But more of something that you don't drink and enjoy, but drink to serve a purpose. And that purpose is to get energy. The person who sells it, or the person who endorsed this particular energy drink that made me buy it, or didn't make me buy it, but convinced me or made me want to buy it, does a lot of good stuff, like very thoughtful and wants to do right by a lot of people. And so I don't feel like I wasted money in that sense because like I supported them. But it is kind of a bummer that it isn't something that I would drink a lot of. I might try, there's one other flavor that I could try. Those Jaggies right there drive me kind of crazy. There's another flavor that I could try. But I'm not like, I don't know. I want to try it and see if it's any good, but man, it'd be nice if they had like a little like try pack, like maybe make it a little more expensive to cover the shipping costs and everything, but just a little like sampler where it's like, here's 2 of each flavor. Here's a 4, like a 4-pack, and put 2 of each flavor in there and be like, here, try them, instead of having to buy like 16.
See you soon.
Where'd that mage go? There he is. I don't necessarily want to waste this quest on this.
What business have you?
Yeah, this should be enough. See, so quests give you XP based on your level. And so this quest at this level is worth 2,000. But if I go to the next level,
Our enemies will fall.
once I get to the next level, now that I'm the next level, this quest is worth. Okay, so it was like a 5% increase, I think. Yeah. Slightly more than 5%. So maybe not entirely worth it, but I don't know.
Our enemies will fall.
Whatever.
State your business. Remember
All
the
right.
sunrise.
Got that. Okay, so next things next. We are going to head to Fairbreeze Village. Yep, I know about I need to choose a specialization. This is going to go, oh, I got to reset those keybinds. I forgot about that. Okay, options, action, nope, key bindings, bar 2. That one becomes that, and that one becomes that. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Grab that. Jump over here. Grab that. Oops. As soon as you hit level 10, if you're leveling, stop using the chauffeured Mechanahog. The chauffeured Mechanahog only increases your speed by 60%. It does not increase based on your riding skill. Oops. So as soon as you can, start mounting up on a different mount. Because that's going to make all the difference. All right, we're going to turn this quest in. Right.
The dark times will pass.
We're going to deny taking any more quests for now. We're going to bind our Hearthstone here. We're going to teleport to my house. Ugh. All right. Oops. I need to move that there. Okay. 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 While we're doing that, let's go ahead and grab copper coin. Bam. All right. And then we're going to go grab Chromie. All right, we got going down, and we got curious coin, or the penny. All right, we're going to do a quick shave and a haircut, And then switch it back to my preferred look. Undead, 1, Prince, 5, full, medium, red, both, accept. Okay. Next we're gonna go grab, whoa, tree. Next we are going to grab the safer deposit.
I've seen you around here before.
101, 601, 1601. This is where I got lost last time. This is going to be 40. 16 plus 25 is 30. 16 plus 25. 10 would be 35 plus 6 is 41. So this is 41. And then 9,101. Cool. And then we're going to throw in my hoarding material. Cool.
Glad I could help.
Yep. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool. Boom, 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 boom.
I keep losing track.
Let's go ahead and do that. Select a timeline, Draenor.
Scary orc offers you something to drink.
Cool.
Probably want to say no.
I got some coins to grab. How far along are we? Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. We got Draenor. Okay, cool. So then what we need to do next is clear the bars. And we're going to select Beast Mastery. Okay. And with Beast Mastery, I'm going to grab Post Haste for the speed increase. Okay. I'm going to jump back on my mount. Macros 3, 2, 1. All right. Skywriting, surge forward, skyward ascent, whirling surge, e-brake, and second wind with arcane torrent there. We need to put my mount there. And now we can do this. Okay. So I'm pretty sure this is going to stay on 1. That's going to stay there. That's going to stay there. That's going to go there. That goes there. That goes there. Not 100% sure what I want to do with Freezing Trap. I might just do that. Steady Shot can go there. Survival of the Fittest goes there. And Wing Clip can go there. Okay. All right. That's pretty good. That's good. Okay. And now for the fun part, we are going to hearth back to Fairbreeze Village. Oh god, I took a massive sip of that energy drink. Mistakes were made. Okay.
Anaria Shola.
Take your quest. Oh, that's what I forgot to do.
Enemies will fall.
Your gold is welcome here. Choose wisely. We will have justice.
All right, I need to...
Sinu amanore. Anu bello de la na.
State your business.
Do that. Okay. Next, I need to do that, 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 that. We'll do that there. That can go there. That goes there, and that goes there. Cool. Now
Our
I
enemies
need
will fall. Anaria Shola.
to tame a pet. I, for now, at least until I'm level 15 or so, am partial to the Springpaw Stalkers. I like the kind of autumnal orange cat model. Excuse me. Had a little burp build up. The thing is, technically, because I'm going Beast Mastery, I will need 2. So we will grab 2. And my plan... Oh, that's weird. I forgot that I set that up down that way. So what that means, though, is I need to move the vehicle exit button to, like, there. Okay, cool. Now we just wait until we get kill command.
The dark times will pass.
Our enemies will fall.
One thing that I didn't realize with the changes to Beast Mastery for Midnight was that they got rid of the Frenzy stacks.
Victory lies ahead. Stay the course.
I was under the impression that Beast Mastery Hunters still had Frenzy that they had to maintain with Barb Shot, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I wonder if and I don't want to call it a bug, but it kind of was a bug. But it's not a bug. I think it's just the way the game was made. I wonder if the pet basic attack limitations or like autocast issue is still present. So if it's a DPS increase to macro your pet's basic attack into all of your keybinds, because there's a slight delay when autocast is enabled for hunters. I don't know if that's the case or not anymore. It's been so long since I played a ranged hunter, and I don't really care about it on survival, even though I probably should.
The eternal sun guides us.
Uh-oh. We have a slight problem.
dark times will pass.
Okay. I want to... There's a specific transmog I want to kind of build, and it's the Thalassian Archer Quiver, and I want to use the Thalassian Recruit's Bow. But I need to find like a good transmog that goes with it. I don't want it to be super complex or like busy. I kind of wish I could find the I wonder if they made it or if I have it, the basic questing armor for Blood Elves. It'd be kind of cool to have the full set like that, even though it is kind of a lower res, like, or a lower resolution set. It might be kind of cool to have that simple Blood Elf design with the Blood Elf bow and quiver.
Choose wisely. Your gold is welcome here. Hold your head high.
All right, let's go. Ugh. All right, that's my energy drink gone. Whew.
Do not loiter. Keep your wits
That,
about
the Sun Touch Special Reserve. How we doing? Oh, we dropped some frames. We had some frame drops. I'm wondering what's causing it. I wish there was a way. Oh, hang on. Hang on. What's going on? Frames are dropping like crazy. Okay. That was weird. Lost a bunch of frames during some transition there, but I don't know what I could have done to fix it. All right, I need to decide how I want to do this. Like, part of me is like, beeline straight for Bestial Wrath. Get that cooldown right away. But is that really the right way to go? Because that's not going to do anything until I have a bleed. And I don't, without Barb Shot, I don't have a bleed.
What do you seek?
All right. The Spring Paw Appetizer is cool. All right. Let's head back down here.
Anubelore Delana. Glory to the Sindori. The eternal sun guides us.
All right. Kill command.
Anu Belore Delana. Victory lies ahead.
All right. So that does generate focus. I guess we'll see how bad my focus generation is. By default. I feel like I wonder if I can. I should do it now because I'm probably going to hit 13 on this loop. I'm going to take the Animal Companion talent just because I think it is the, like,
Baladash
the right
Malore.
quote-unquote talent. Oh, I can't put it in until I've got that talent. Damn. Well, that's too bad. I think Blizzard is smart enough to know that if you have 2 pets when you have that talent, to just pull the one in your call pet 2 slot. But I'm not 100% sure on that.
Anaria Shola.
Okay. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Victory lies ahead.
Okay. Go, 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 go.
Glory to the Sindori. We will have justice.
Actually, oh, there is a quest in here. I was like, I don't actually have a quest in here, but then I remembered I do. It's the learn how to take a flight path quest that I don't actually learn to take a flight path. Because I'm crazy like that. All right. I think I will take padded armor at the next level.
The dark times will pass. Anaria Shola. Remember the Sunwell. Shorelaran.
Be ready for anything.
Okay. Yeah, replaces steady shot, replaces arcane shot, so I don't have to worry about new abilities joining the bar. Yeah.
Anu Belore Delana.
Okay, let's get started, cat. My arcane shot still hits harder than that. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess I'm just using arcane shot until... using arcane shot until it's no longer effective to do so. Jeez, even my steady shot does more damage. Like, steady shot makes sense doing more damage because it has a cast time. But the fact that arcane shot it does like 30 more damage than my kill command, that's kind of crazy. Oh, I bumped the mic, sorry. Okay. Blunk. All right, back to the Murlocs. Oh no. Sorry, my microphone is... I got this new microphone stand hoping that it would be quieter when I move it. And to be fair, it still is. My old microphone stand made this really annoying sound whenever I would move it. So hopefully that was just a normal like mic moving sound versus the squeaking of springs and metal on metal. Getting unlucky with these cargo drops. All right. That's the Murloc quest done. Let's go take care of some treants. I always feel like 10 through 15 are really slow levels. Don't mind me. Just opening up some water. Delicious.
Anaria Shola. State your business.
All right.
Glory to the Sindorai. Anu Belore Delana.
Hooray. Let's summon old white bark. Cool. Take out 2 more of the treants. I was going to say, I'm kind of hoping that there's one more on the way back so I don't have to go further that way. And it turns out there was, which is awesome. Okay.
Victory lies ahead.
Indeed, it does. Let's go turn in these quests, and then we'll go up to the top of the tower there and take out that guy. Mm, 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 mm.
What business have you? Our enemies will fall.
Our enemies will fall. Keep your wits about you.
I will. I'm thinking it's going to be more beneficial to go down this route. Just because it'll build out my kit a little faster. Boop, boop, boo-doo-doo, boop, boop, boo-doo. Getting pretty close to 13. Cool. So that's that. Now we make a miraculous escape.
State your business. The reckoning is at hand.
All right. Moment of truth. What do I want to take? I think I need to take Barb Shot. I just feel like that's the right move. On the one hand, it's an instant shot ability that generates focus. It might not be as much focus as Steady Shot, but it's still an instant cast, focus generator, and does damage. Like,
The eternal sun guides us.
Animal Companion isn't going to feel as impactful as Barb Shot will. So that's why we're making that call. And I still have Arcane Shot, which is still doing a little more damage than Kill Command. Yeah. The bleed from Barb Shot is pretty strong, I think. That is the downside with picking the talent that I did. It does have a cooldown. All right. Head over to the Sanctum over here. East Sanctum.
The eternal sun guides
Turn
us.
in that quest. Was kind of hoping one would have spawned a little closer, but I guess we can't be too picky. All right, I think what we're going to do on this fight that this guy spawns. We're going to do a little strategizing.
We will persevere. Our enemies will fall.
Right. I'm pretty sure the Delve build that they recommend takes Stomp. But before we can get that, I have to grab, I'm going to grab combat experience for the agility.
State your business. Remember the
Not
sunwell.
grabbing that quest quite yet.
Speak up. What brings you here? Maybe a turn.
Not grabbing that quest quite yet either. Grab the agility. Good stuff, good stuff. We'll go turn in Swift Discipline and head over to Farstrider Retreat, where we will then go to the elemental area on the beach, and then we'll go do the trolls, and that will wrap up or Eversong. And on the plus side, we get a nice stat boosting bow from the troll area, which is very useful as a ranged hunter. Usually I will play survival hunter. Even while leveling, I just like the idea of a melee hunter. That being said, while I enjoy the melee hunter playstyle, quest rewards for melee hunters are not... I feel like there are less melee weapons for hunters than there are bows, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying specifically for hunters, but I just mean, like, while leveling, at least in the zones that I level through, there are more ranged weapons available for hunters than melee weapons.
State your business. Anaria Shola.
All right, grab all these quests, and then we're heading to the beach.
Glory to the Sindora.
Heading to the beach, heading to the beach, heading to the beach. All right.
We will persevere. We will have justice. State your business.
Beastmaster Hunter's kind of weird. So I know one thing some people will say, or at least in one of the guides out there, they talk about Beastmaster mobility, right? Because Beastmaster can do their entire rotation on the move. It often gets compared to a ranged melee class or spec, because all of their abilities are pretty much instant cast. You know, you can run around as much as you want without running into any issues. But I feel like one thing that, at least right now, that feels off is the fact that there's a lot of downtime between my attacks. Like, a lot of downtime. I don't have the focus to consistently press Arcane Shot. Kill Command's got a cooldown, and Barb Shot has a cooldown, right? So it's like I'm waiting. Like right now, I have nothing. Okay, I can press something now. 5 seconds until I can press something else. So it just feels slow right now. And I get that I'm leveling, right? It's not going to be crazy fast at level 14. But it'd be nice if it was a little faster. I don't know why I was using the unarmed ready animation there for a second. My poor cat has its armor reduced because of fairy fire. Perfect timing. Okay. Oh. Oh, there he is. I was going to say, I don't see Elden Arcus up.
We will persevere.
I think I saw him. There he is. Oh, God. Okay, so he is susceptible to bleeds. Oh, but he is completely immune to my arcane shot. That is something nice with Beast Mastery is you can be in melee range, and you can be far away. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say there. Oh, is there a paladin over here? I thought I saw. Yeah, there's some hammers being thrown. What's the 35 focus? So it's 5 focus cheaper, which isn't nothing, but it's also not like a huge deal.
Glory to the Sindori.
All right, let's head out of here. That paladin should pull most of the stuff for me. So I should have a nice clean route out of here. The one risk is if he's going to the troll zone next, he could get Tregla before I do, which
The dark time
isn't the end of the world, but
Baladash
it is nice getting those rares. But it looks like he's heading back towards the retreat. So we should be okay. Do we take Stomp or do we take Animal Companion? We are going to fly past these guys because my goal right now is to find Tregla in the troll zone. Excuse me. Oh. Heck yeah, we want that bow. I'm suddenly reminded of leveling a hunter in like 2005 through Deathless, grinding on trolls, trying to get levels, and like talking about, well, I think I may have been on my warlock at the time, but talking about how hunters and warlocks are classes that have to go the farthest to loot their kills because your pet tanks the mob from so far away. So you always feel like you should be the furthest away as as far away as possible. So you're attacking from way back here, and you couldn't move back in vanilla WoW. Hunters couldn't shoot and move at the same time, unless you were timing your auto shots properly. But I know I wasn't timing auto shots properly in 2005. So yeah, it's one of those things where it was like, sure, you could move, but you couldn't move and attack. Game is just so different from how it used to be. Not in a bad way, but just, it's just kind of crazy to think about how different. There we go. All right, I need to check something really quick. Bear with me for a moment. Sorry if I lose frames. Not trying to. Hunter. Beast Mastery. Builds. Delves. Recommended is Dark Ranger, according to Azor Tharian, who I actually really like his content. So, wow, they take every talent in the top row. Okay, so I could take Stomp and get Cobra Shot and Bestial Wrath next. I think we're just going to go ahead and take Animal Companion and hope. Yeah. I was going to say, and hope that the pet from my second call pet slot gets summoned. Okay. Almost done with Eversong Woods. Sorry, you were in my way. These are the rocks I use to get across the lake easy. Okay. Give me that bow.
Talk to me, who you be.
Okay, we'll turn in these quests and then we're pretty much done with Eversong.
Anaria Shola, victory lies ahead. State your business. The reckoning is at hand. What business have you? Glory to the Sindorai, Shorel Oran.
All right. Don't mind me. I'm just going to go ahead and read your journal right in front of you. Don't worry. No secrets. Don't worry. Shh, no one has to know. Okay.
Anaria Shola, keep your wits about you. State your business.
All right. Let's go. Oops. Not the window I wanted to open. Auto shot damage. Yeah, we'll take the damage increase. Like, as much as I'm missing my interrupt and I'm pressing the button for it, regardless of whether or not I have it, right now I think the damage increase is really necessary. So yeah, we'll take the damage increase to my auto shots. That's what I need to do. We're going to go around here while I set up the stuff. Cool. All right, I want to look at this one. Barb shot, kill command. Okay, yeah. Auto attack, auto shot is below the auto attack. That's crazy. They must take that one. Well, I guess maybe not. Let's check. No, they do. Okay. I was just checking the build recommendations online. See if the Beast Mastery Hunter actually takes the auto shot damage increase. I mean, they're doing the auto shots anyway, so it's not exactly a waste. And it does increase their damage then. So yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Enemies will fall.
Bong. Oh boy, more armor. Okay. We are going to head down to Ghostlands.
Our enemies will fall.
All right. Does Wild Thrash get used in single target? That's the question. In pure 100% single target, do you use Wild Thrash? I don't know. I will Google it and I will find out.
Yes. Glory to the Sindora.
It's an 18-second recharge. Hooray!
What business have you? Stay the course.
All right. Hey, it's that protection paladin.
We will persevere.
What do you require?
Definitely don't have the multi-target capabilities of other classes. That's a lot of bats all clumped up like that. Here we go.
Hello. Goodbye.
Keep your wits about you.
Goodbye. Okay. So I literally just did this zone, I want to say on Saturday on my shaman. And I was stupid and forgot to grab the quest to go talk to the lost rangers over by the lake. I need to remember to not do that this time. Really throws off the leveling route. I will say shaman was very fun going through here. I don't know that Blizzard has Flame Shock balanced properly for low levels, because if that ability gets, or if that debuff gets dispelled, it causes, this is the quest I forgot to grab last time, so grabbing it this time. What was I saying?
State your business.
Oh, Flame Shock. I don't know that Flame Shock is properly balanced for low levels. So in the troll area down here, there are hexers that you have to kill. You have to kill like 8 of them for a quest while you're going through and poisoning the food items in their camp. But the hexers can purge or cleanse themselves of debuffs. So I would put Flame Shock on them, gather up a bunch of mobs, and then they would purge themselves. And Flame Shock causes an eruption beneath their feet if it's purged. And it was hitting for like 4K. So it was very strong. I'm a little surprised I haven't hit 17. but that is okay. All right, we are going to go ahead and pull this guy. Throw another bleed on him. So, my guess is with the next talent that I'm going to grab at 17, it's going to end up being better to not stack my barb shots and instead try and maintain the bleed for as long as possible by spreading out my casts. That's my guess. Oh, God. I guess we're doing this fight again. I didn't realize he spawned right here. I think we should be far enough away from the Nerubis guard over there to avoid him calling for help. Yeah, he just called for help and no one's coming, so I think we're good there. Hooray. Okay. We're going to go ahead and grab 4% or a 15% damage increase. I think we're going to go with this one for now, just because it leads to both Bestial Wrath and Beast Wild Thrash. And I will be trying to spread my... Oh, he's poisoned. Or he was poisoned. my barb shots around, so I get more chances at
The dark times will pass.
dire
Glory
beasts.
to the Sindora.
Gonna grab the exploration on this island really quick. There we go. Oh. My breath bar went away again. Yay! Lots of bats coming out. Oh, it just gets all merged into one for beast for auto attacks. That's fair. So I know it's probably not given any thought whatsoever, but I wonder what the like or like not lore, but like RP reason for Barb Shot to summon a dire beast. Like, is it just they smell blood, so they attack? Nothing there. Pets need a little bit of a heal. Oh yeah, this is one of those. These are these mobs. There's a few of them in the leveling process. They get like a thorns like ability. Lightning shield on that one. So it's the thorns kind of ability is either, in this case, lightning shield, but more often than not, it's like a thorny nature damage thingy. But anyway, the idea is as you get attacked, you do damage back to yourself, like because they got thorns on them. And so I was leveling my shaman, and I was in Duratar, and there are some gnolls in that area that put on thorns, and I was leveling enhancement shaman. An enhancement shaman is all about getting random procs of Wind Fury, which are additional weapon attacks. And so because these mobs have a thorns debuff on them that doesn't have a proc per minute cap, like this effect can only happen once every 5 seconds or so, every auto attack that you do to them bounces back damage to you. And so if you're a shaman and you get a really lucky streak of Wind Fury, you can take yourself down from 100% to like 30% with a couple Wind Fury procs. It's crazy. So hunter pets have a similar problem, especially back when they had Frenzy and you would increase their attack speed damage or their attack speed with Frenzy and Barb Shot. They would just kill themselves hitting mobs that had thorns. Okay, we're going to turn in that quest, accept that quest, turn in that quest, grab the pants. All right.
I have one-of-a-kind items.
Getting a lucky run this time. Last few times I've gone through this zone, this guy gets killed by the random scourge attacks that happen. So you have to wait like 10 minutes for him to respawn, which is kind of a bummer, but not this time. All right, I think what I'm going to do is I'll take the cheetah and go down to serrated tips. I think is what I'm going to do. Oh my gosh. It just feels so slow. I think part of the reason for that is because Cobra Shot does reduce the cooldown of Kill Command. So it ends up cycling you through back to Kill Command more frequently. And because I don't have that, things just feel slow. But I really wanted to get Bestial Wrath. But maybe man, a lot of these Phantasmal Watchers coming up. Feel like I'm playing classic or something with how slow combat is right now. All right, what do I need? 2 more of the Risen Hungerers. Can do that. Got a couple hearts, so that's nice. Alright, we need to get off this path because there's a Phantasmal Watcher coming this way. I am going to turn on Track Undead because it's an easy way to check for the rare in the things. Think we're in pretty good shape. I don't see the other one coming. Cool. Inscribed leather boots. I will put those on, even though they're leather and not my preferred armor type. I don't get the bonus to that until later. We will go ahead and pull this guy now. We're going to keep Men Pet rolling. I can't interrupt that. We'll go ahead and get a kill command going. Get another Mend Pet going. Kill command again. Mend Pet again. Barb shot. Kill command. Got a pet just spawned. Nice. Did the Dire Beast taunt? If the Dire Beast taunted, that's pretty cool. I didn't think they could do that, but it definitely tanked that poison shot or whatever. Okay. Next up, we have to fight some gnolls. We have to disrupt their mining activity and get the underlight ore samples. I might, you know what? I think at 18 I will take the interrupt. It's just a key piece of kit that I feel like you gotta have. See, like that right there would have been a perfect interrupt. I will wear that just because it's got stats on it that I can use. Okay, good. I was really hoping that he wouldn't run into that pack over there, because that would have been bad. I need way more scavengers. What am I missing? Scavengers and a knoll. The only reason the shaman are still showing up is because I still need underlight ore samples, right? Oh no. Got all that. Cool. There's one more scavenger over here. Knoll. Shaman knoll. There is a scavenger in that pack, but that is a big pack. I'm guessing, thinking back to my question on whether you use Wild Thrash and single target, I'm guessing no. The reason is Cobra Shot reduces the cooldown of Kill Command. So what you would want to do is spam kill commands, not kill commands, Cobra Shot to reduce the cooldown on that. So that makes sense. It just kind of sucks that things are so slow. The other thing that I have working against me on this character versus the shaman that I leveled this weekend is the fact that Haranir, and I think most allied races, start with like 6 pieces at least of uncommon gear with stats on them. Whereas a fresh level 1 character that chooses to start in their racial starting zone gets nothing. I think I want to say that if you start on Exile's Reach, I think you get better gear. Like, I know you get better gear eventually. Like, you quest and you get the better gear, but I think you still start with pretty pitiful gear. Oh, my stomach making funny sounds. Probably was the cream of mushroom soup that was in the green bean casserole leftovers I had. Oh, that was a loud one. Not sure if the mic picked that one up, but oofta. All right, now I think, unfortunately, the blueberries over here are immune to bleed damage. And they're going to be immune to... Oh, no, they're not immune to arcane damage. Good. But they are immune to bleeds. The mana shifters, though, are beasts, so they can bleed. Oh, dang. That would have been the way to go. Let's do this. Let's do that. That. All right, let's, how do I want to do this? Let's do this. All right. I thought there was a talent. Yeah, that's the one. I was like, I thought there was a talent that increased the passive focus regeneration for Beast Mastery. Definitely doesn't seem too much faster, but I think part of that is because I'm fighting mobs that I can't make bleed. All right, let's go get this guy's supplies. Well, at least these 3 buttons feel a little faster. a little, well, I don't want to say far behind, but a little behind on my crunchy spider legs. Usually like to have a little bit more. I said a little bit more. All right, I'll go get some night elves. And then head to the ghost town. But yeah, like, I think just starting with no gear, like no stat altering gear, is pretty rough. They could maybe think about redoing that. Did that out of order. I should have used kill command first to get the cooldown reduction from barb shot. That was stupid of me. Cool. All right, ghost time. I ain't afraid of no ghost. Oh, got stuck on a ledge there. I'm trying to think of stuff that I can like talk about that doesn't require a lot of like viewer feedback. Wowhead posted a quote-unquote article today. I think regarding the new like angler event or whatever that they added in 1205, and whether or not Blizzard is going too hard with casual content. As a casual player, I like the idea of more casual content. I've really liked decor duels. I know that it's not been perfect with like bugs and exploits and stuff like that, but I actually really enjoy it as a thing to do, right? Like if I'm not feeling like doing much, I can log in and I can do decor duels and I can work towards the collectibles that they offer. I already got the mount, but like I could get more weapons and stuff like that, which is cool. Not like power weapons, but transmog weapons. I really like that the weapons that they have on that vendor for transmog are like, there are a couple warglaves that aren't warglaves. And there's a staff and a polearm version of what looks like a two-handed warglaive, which is really cool in my opinion. I was telling my friends the other day that I don't usually transmog my characters all that often. I don't get into it. And while I like the gear that I have, like I love trying to like, I don't make transmog sets, but I like looking at gear and how it looks, and making a character look cool is really cool. It's a cool part of WoW. I transmogged my shaman to be using the Kaldori themed daggers that look like little warglaves. And I think, I don't remember what set I put her in. Oh, just the Harn. It was the Harnier like heritage armor, minus the shoulders and the cloak. So I mean, it was a pre-made set, which is whatever. Like they're there for a reason. I like using them. I get like in a competition, maybe you don't want to have people use pre-made sets or whatever, but I think that the sets in this game look pretty cool. Anyway, like seeing a Harnier, which is basically just a night elf, rocking what are essentially small warglaves and doing like shaman attacks is really cool. Like, I think transmog, opening up some transmog options would be a really cool way to let people build the fantasy that they want to play. So like, maybe we won't get, oh my stomach was really loud on that one. Maybe we won't get Harnier demon hunters, but if my Harnier could use warglaves, not like actually use them, like I'm not saying we should open up loot pools to be crazy, right? Like if I'm a hunter, I'm a ranged weapon user. Like, I mean, other than survival, like if I'm a beast mastery hunter, I'm a ranged weapon user. Like I shouldn't be able to roll on a strength sword or something like that. Oh my God, my stomach is just going nuts. But it would be super cool if like on my rogue, I could use a sword and shield transmog, that kind of thing. Let me play the fantasy of a sword, like a sword and shield swashbuckler. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't actually do anything, right? Like, I'm not asking to be a tank rogue, although that would also be very freaking cool. And I would play the crap out of a tank rogue. But let me at least do the appearance. Or another example that I thought of as I was thinking about this today. They made a big deal out of Gladiator Stance back in Warlords of Draenor, being like a sword and shield DPS role. And they took it out because it was impossible to balance, right? I mean, it's the same. It's funny because in Cataclysm, I think it was Cataclysm, they split out Feral and Guardian Druid from each other. And then 2 expansions later, they buried a sub-spec in a spec in Gladiator Stance Warriors. But I think there is this like desire for different class fantasies, and transmog would be a way to do that instead of having to introduce more classes that Blizzard has to balance, more specs, which I think they are more open to now after Augmentation and Devourer have come out separately from their classes. I think Blizzard is more willing, or is considering. I wouldn't be surprised if Blizzard was considering creating more new specs that maybe allow classes to fulfill roles that they haven't been able to fulfill before. It would not shock me entirely if they were working on like a rogue tank or a warlock tank based off of feedback from Season of Discovery and like the cool stuff that classes could do during that. But that said, instead of adding all this new stuff that they then have to spend more work on balancing and fine tuning and all this stuff, like, just let my rogue equip a sword and shield. Or to get back to the example I was just talking about with Gladiator Stance, allow my Fury Warrior, or my Arms Warrior for that matter, to use a sword, like a sword and shield, or a polearm and a shield. Like, it's not going to make a difference in the long run if especially in PvP. Like, if I'm running around on a warrior, right? And I want to be that sword and board gladiator warrior. Is it really hurting anyone if I'm in a delve doing that? No. And I get the idea for like PvP, like they want classes to be recognizable, classes and specs to some extent, to be recognizable from a distance by their silhouette, right? If you see a warrior in a BG or a, rated arena or something like that, you kind of want to know if they're prot spec or if they're what spec they are. And seeing what kind of weapon they're using is a huge deal. Like, that is the main way that you would do that. But it'd be cool if they would just open up transmog. Like, the biggest thing for me is Warglaives. Like, I love the idea of Warglaives as a weapon, and I wish more classes could use them. Now, I get that from a lore or RP perspective that a Warglaive is a very specialized weapon that only a certain few have really mastered how to use in combat. But instead of like having to make a class that can use Warglaives, let a hunter use them and like just be so here's the thing. I really like the idea of finding a class or a spec that you enjoy the playstyle of, and then theming that playstyle around the theme that you want. So let's say that I'm playing Survival Hunter, and I really like how Survival Hunter plays. But I'm not a big fan of the bombs and the actually, this is a bad example because Survival Hunter has a very specific theme. Let's go with Retribution Paladin. Let's say that you really, really like how Retribution Paladin plays, but you're like me and you're not a big fan of
Our enemies will fall. Glory to the
plate
Sindora.
armor, and you're not a
The
big
dark
fan
times
of
will pass.
light magic. Like I'm not the biggest fan of light. And the like fantasy of being a paladin. Like I'm not a big fan of that. But if paladin plays really good, it would be cool if I could take a paladin and say, hey,
Has a price.
maybe I'm not a
Shorella
plate wearing paladin that wields the light. Maybe I'm a paladin that has embraced the void. And like, so I serve the void, and that's where I draw my power from. I'm switching back to this. The health and the stats aren't worth it. So yeah, like
Lies ahead. Farewell.
look at, so I always think of the
The eternal sun guides us.
classes in WoW as like a matrix. Like, what types of combat are there? Ranged and melee, right? We've got ranged void magic, but we don't really have any like melee void users, right? Like, you could argue Devour is a melee-ish void user. But like, why can't my rogue use void magic to do damage? So here's an example from like stories that they tell in WoW. I believe, I want to say it was in the Thousand Years of Darkness or Thousand Years of War audio drama that they did with Illyria and Turalyon. But it may have been in a separate short story about Illyria. Illyria eventually gets to the point where she doesn't need a bow. Like, she doesn't need a bow to fire arrows. And you can see this in some of the War Within cinematics where she has her bow, but when she draws the bow, it's creating a void or magical arrow. So the bow is more of a focus for her, but she can fight without the bow. She could technically, theoretically, just coalesce shadow magic and blast people with it, with raw shadow magic.
Anaria Shola.
So why can't I have a class, right, that I can coalesce and make void daggers? Or why does my hunter have to use a bow? Why can't I? Like, here's another good example. I hate Cobra Shot as a spell. Like, I hate the visual for it. It looks stupid. In my opinion, like, I'm sorry to whoever may have worked on this ability, who thinks it's the coolest thing ever. I think it's stupid. It's like, I think they took like a Cobra Shot. I feel like maybe used to shoot like an actual cobra or spawn a cobra when it was like shot. But now it's just, it's so stupid. It looks like a green sperm flying towards the enemy is what it looks like, in my opinion. I think it's stupid. I wish I could change it to match Arcane Shot. Like, function the exact same as Cobra Shot, right? But let me theme it so that it matches my vision of what a Beast Mastery Hunter should be. I think it would be cool if they introduced like themes. And I thought that was what we were going to get with hero specs, right? Hero specs, they talked about being like giving you thematic abilities where certain abilities that you take, like they showed off the mountain thing in Warrior a lot, because I think that was some of the first ones they did. And they were like, you'll smash down lightning and your hammer will look different and your avatar will look different. Like, cool. Like, this is a really cool way to make it look like, hey, I could choose the flavor of class that I want to be. Like, oh, I'm a Beast Mastery Hunter, but maybe instead of a pack, you know what I mean? I'm a Dark Ranger, and really embrace that Dark Ranger fantasy. So maybe instead of shooting Cobra shots, I'm shooting Shadow shots or something like that. That's what a Dark Ranger would be like in my mind for a hero spec. But no, they ended up just it being like unique talents that you can only spend this pool of points on, and that's all there is to it. I don't know. It just seems silly to me. Like, let's keep tacking on, you know, more and more specs and, you know, classes to this game that we already have a difficult time balancing. You know, and we already have certain classes that are the golden, literally the golden child. I think last time I looked at some stats, Paladin, very clearly the most played class. I want to say Druid is after that, followed by Hunter. And Rogue is like... Rogue is almost dead last, and I would say it's dead last. The only class that Rogue is beating right now is Evoker, and I want to say that's because Evoker, Evoker can only be one race. Like, you could, if you want to be an Evoker, you have to be a Drakthir. And so, like, Rogue being as far down as it is kind of sad. And so I would love to see Rogue get some love. But really, like, so here's, I guess, a point that I'm trying to make. I'm not going to say it's the point I'm trying to make, because who knows? I'm just kind of rambling to ramble. You introduce a new class to this game and you're going to end up pulling people away. So the example that I think of right now that comes to mind, when Death Knights came out in Wrath of the Lich King, apparently the rogue population took the biggest hit. The rogue popularity dropped significantly, and the Death Knight soared. What happens if we introduce a new class now? Maybe a little bit from every class gets pulled away, right? Like, maybe a little bit of Paladin drop. Like, Paladin will drop a little bit. Druid drops a little bit. You know, other classes drop a little bit. Instead of stretching your player base wider and wider, further and further apart, let your player base make their own fantasy for the classes that exist already. Like, really, what does a good RPG, like a fantasy, need in terms of archetypes, right? I think it needs a heavy armor wear, right? A medium armor wear, and a light armor wear. And in WoW's case, it's got 4: cloth, leather, mail, and plate. And then what kind of combat styles do you need? Well, you need martial and you need spellcaster or ranged. And you could make the argument for healer too. Like, so I think Elder Scrolls Online does a pretty good job of, like, saying, okay, here are your classes, and then you can kind of make them your own. I haven't played ESO deeply for a while, but, like, let me choose. Like, I want to say build a class, but really it's like, I think you've got certain gameplay elements that work really well, and coming up with new gameplay styles is difficult. Like, at the end of the day, we're all just pushing buttons on a keyboard, right? And what the class does is it changes the order that you press those buttons or the pattern in which you press those buttons. God, it's already 8:20. I really like doing these zones in terms of like getting them over and done with and never having to come back to do these quests. In part because you can't fly in these zones, but man, they are just massive zones that just eat up time. So anyway, like you have, what is it now? 14 classes, 13 classes, in World of Warcraft. At this point, instead of trying to add more, look at the existing classes that you have and figure out what like niches are not filled, right? So the example I gave earlier of void wielding heavy armor wearer, right? You could give it to paladins, right? Because I think WoW is much stricter in terms of armor, right? Like I don't think there's any class where your armor type changes as you change specs, right? If you are a shaman, whether you are enhancement or elemental, you are using male armor, and what changes is whether you use agility or intellect, and then your weapons probably change, and trinkets to an extent. Well, I mean, to a great extent, depending on the trinkets. So, like, looking at wanting to add a plate wielding paladin, a plate wielding void user, right? Where would that fall on the existing class spectrum? Well, I would say paladin, right? You would just like they did with Demon Hunter and Devourer, instead of using the light, you forgo the light and your abilities become more void themed. And then you could extend this to other classes and other like archetypes. Like we have a we've got, you see, you could look at like different spell schools, right? Like we don't have an arcane fighter. Give, warrior an arcane themed one, or like a spellbreaker. You could throw that as an extra talent tree on paladin or warrior. Like, let's say I want to be I don't know, trying to think of other examples that would work. I just think there's a lot of potential to let players fill in the gaps for what they want to play without having to put a lot of work in. Granted, like anything we do is going to take a lot of work. And yeah, it's, I guess one thing that could happen is if you can take any class and theme it, right, to be however you want it to be. What happens to the less popular classes, right? If everyone hates how Rogue plays but likes how Enhancement Shaman plays, and you could take Enhancement Shaman and just make it look like a Rogue or make it look like a Demon Hunt, you know what I mean? Like, why would anyone play Rogue? Well, I was kind of hoping that I would hit 30 tonight. I don't think it's going to happen. It's a little disappointing. Kind of one of those obsessive things that I need to try and work at getting over is trying to get like certain achievements on certain days or whatever. Like, it shouldn't matter. Just play the game. Don't think about it. Ugh, I hate how low the drop rate is on these quest items. Right now, I am working on collecting rotting hearts and spinal dust from the mobs in the Dead Scar, and oofta, it is rough. I feel like the spinal dust especially is hard to get. Kind of curious as to why one of my pets is stealthing and the other isn't. Let's do this. No, I guess that's not it. Oh, there goes one. I'm fairly confident both pets can technically stealth. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. I think what we'll do is we will finish the circuit that I am currently working on. We will finish gathering the spinal dust and the rotting hearts, and then we will go do Windrunner Spire and Windrunner Village, and then the Night Elf Island, and head back to Tranquillian. And from there, we'll call it a night. I do kind of need to go to the bathroom, though. So I think what it will do, set up a little camp right here, log out. Wait the 20 seconds, because I believe it takes 20 seconds for the logout to fully happen. All right, I will be right back. I'm back. Okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie. Get back in. And we'll continue with our quest. I'm really curious how Beast Mastery Hunter can clear the new Delve boss. Because from what I remember of the other Delve seasonal bosses, they hurt. They auto attack like crazy and can pretty much take your pet out. So unless there's a lot of revive pet casts, I'm not quite sure how they would do it. Come on, Spinal Dust. Nothing. You are killing me. Of course the heart drops. Hooray! Moving on. That is a slog of a quest to get through. It doesn't look like the rare has spawned in the ziggurat today. Okay. Windrunner Spire, then Windrunner Village. I wonder what professions I should go for on my hunter, if any. I mean, you probably should use some, but... There we go. I was wondering when that would show up. All right, so I need to do cheeky one of those. Uh-oh. My pet died. All right. I need you to pull back here. All right. That should wrap up this area. Now we're going to head down to Windrunner Village. I guess I didn't realize that the frickin' Murlocs are all the way up here, too. Excuse me. Uh-oh. Seems weird that the animal companion pet isn't following orders. Like, it's following kill command orders, but it's not following pet attack orders. Just need one more gargoyle essence. See, I'm sending my pet into attack, but cat number 2 is not following directions. Cool. Okay. We just got to get through the murlocs. Get to the beach. Get through the murlocs. Seems like a little bit of a gap right here. Damn it. So many murlocs. God damn, that last half hour flew by. All right. Kind of funny that the druids in this camp don't actually do anything druid-like. I mean, I guess they do use Healing Touch, which is a druid spell. But they don't shapeshift or anything, which is weird. I get into this habit where I see my health going down, and I'll press Mend Pet, thinking, I mean, I know that Mend Pet does not heal me, right? Like, I know that to be true. But for some reason, I see my health go down like that, and I start spamming Mend Pet, thinking, oh, it's going to heal me. I got to heal up. I mean, I think what happens is I see low health on a hunter and I think, oh, I got to heal my pet. Like, I got to do everything I can to get my pet back up. Even when it's not my pet, that's the actual thing that's dying. All right. All right, let's head back to Tranquillian. Wave. Fun fact, this mount increases your swim speed when you are in a zone where you cannot fly. If you are in a zone where flying is enabled, it will not act as a swimming mount or a swim speed increasing mount. It will act as a flying mount on whatever type of flying you have enabled, whether that's dynamic or steady. And it'll act as a ground mount. All right. Back to Tranquillian. I'll maybe hit 22 if I'm really lucky. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Dire Beast talent again, because then that'll lead me into Bestial Wrath. Oh, God, yeah. So I was just looking at the numbers for Wild Thrash versus Kill Command and Cobra Shot. Cobra Shot doing way more damage than Kill Command. I shouldn't even be using Kill Command.
Our enemies will fall. The eternal sun guides us.
All right. Got some new boots. Let's go turn in. Take that talent quick. Sorry, I got distracted. The damage on that is 225. Cobra Shot's doing 403 now. So yeah, there's no way in heck you're gonna use Wild Thrash in single target.
Remember the sun well. Time is of the essence.
There's that. Let's go over here and turn in the quests over here.
Baladash Malanore.
What is it? Watch your back. Speak quickly. Embrace the shadow. We will persevere.
All right, really quick, because I can hit 22. I'm going to run over here, and I will turn in the quests at Sanctum of the Sun, and I will pick up the quests at Sanctum of the Sun. But then I will come back to Tranquillian. I don't know why, but I feel like learning about that shortcut between Tranquillian and Sanctum of the Sun back in BC, that felt like such a huge cheat. Like it made getting through this zone so easy. All right, we're going to turn in this quest. Not quite enough. Not eligible for the next step on that one. That's fine. We'll turn that in and we'll hit 22. All right.
Baladash Malanore.
Do that and head back to Tranquillian. More crit, please. Cool. Next level at 23, I'm going to take Bestial Wrath. Finish up that at 24, and then 25, I'll grab Wild Thrash. And that will open up the next tier. Yeah, I mean, not like I said, I was really hoping to get to 30 today, but it didn't happen. It is okay, but it is my bedtime, so I'm going to go ahead and log out. Thank you all very much for watching, tuning in. Hopefully the audio levels got sorted out and weren't too obnoxious. So yeah, I will probably stream again tomorrow. Oh, I tipped my chair back and it scared me. Okay. See ya.